Well, since I had a little downtime this weekend, I thought it'd be a good idea to do a review on my Nemo Stargazer camp chair. I've had a lot of questions about that chair in the last 5 years, and I figured this would be a good opportunity to do a little review on it. But first, we're going to head to my undisclosed top secret testing grounds. Not a bad day to be in the desert today. It's about 93 degrees. So I figured it'd be a good day to come out and do a quick review on this Nemo camp chair. This is one of my favorite spots to be. It's local to us. Just open, silent desert. Maybe you'll pick up a little of that desert breeze coming through. It's almost like being in a western. Some pretty epic dirt cliffs. And a good spot because it comes equipped with a campfire ring. What better place to do a review for a chair? The reason I want to do a review on this chair is because I get a lot of questions asked about it. Not just on the YouTube, but all the time in real life, because it is such a strange and unique chair. And it's possibly the most expensive camp chair that you can buy. Alright, so this is my Nemo Stargazer chair here. I purchased this about 5.5 years ago. It's used every week, and in the last 4 years I've used this thing constantly when I go camping. This thing has been through the war and the ringer. It lives in the back of my truck here. It typically bakes at 120 plus degrees in the summer out here in the west. So it's survived and lived through a pretty harsh environment. In the winter time, I've got it down to about 20 degrees on a few of those trips up north. But I liked this thing so much that I went out and bought the new version here. And we'll go over that too. I wanted to have enough time in that to make some assumptions and opinions. But first, we're going to go over how these are packaged here. So as you can see, the original version, which I think came out 6 years ago, is a little smaller than the new one. The original version is also a little lighter. So I like the lighter weight and more compact version, but we'll get into why I like the new version here in a minute. So let's unpack this thing. Comes with this nice carrying bag. And you're going to have your chair legs all packed in here. And I've had very good luck with the bungee cords in this thing. I honestly can't believe this has lasted that long, especially being folded up and unfolded over the years. So you get your legs, and you get your chair back. Now to unpack the newer, updated version. So same style of bag, just a little bigger. Very, very, very good quality on this stuff. You get your chair legs, same as the other one, and your seat back. Alright, now comes setup of the original. Just kind of let everything open up. You slide your poles into the hubs. You will have two longer poles that assemble like that. And then you have your chair base. And it's fairly simple to set up. You take your chair itself, make sure your clip's up here facing upright, and you simply slide these clips over these little edges here. Now on this original style, you have to flip your back up. And you'll have two support rods that slide out. Just like tent poles, they clip in, and you put them in each one of these pockets on the seat back. And you're done. The new version is almost identical to the same process. Slide your legs into the hub, but the difference being this upper support bar is one piece and it's D-shaped, so it fits the hub a little bit better. And of course it's powder coated black. And same process as the original. You take your top clips here, you slide them over the little knobs or nubs, and they clip in. And the nice thing is with the newer version, there is no support rods in the back. They're already built in. But that also makes this a little less compact, but a lot easier to set up. All right, now let's go over the original. Now, like I said, this thing is about 5.5 years old, and I have put it through the ringer. It's been an excellent chair. Now, how this chair works is when you sit in it, this slide mechanism will go in and out when you put pressure on the back of this chair. They gave you a little adjustable headrest. You get a cup pocket and a cell phone pocket or whatever you want to put in there. It's made out of a mesh that is extremely strong, and due to my own fault, I left this too close to the campfire and I had a couple embers burn some holes in it, unfortunately, but hey, it never ripped through. It just stopped right there. Now on the old system, you can see that this bar right here is round, and it got a little wobbly over the years, but not too bad. And this bar down here is straight. Over here on the new chair, you can see they went to a D-shaped tube, and that keeps that locked in a little bit more sturdy and stable like. The new lower bar is curved and bent down. That way, if you do have any sag in this chair, you don't touch your butt to that bar. And here's your side-by-side comparison on that. You can see there are some changes going on. This chair has a little more material in here, which is probably good to block some wind, while leaving mesh here open. That way, if it does get wet, it dries out. And it keeps you cool in the heat. Where this is almost all mesh. You can see they changed the upper seat locking design here. This one seems like it has a plastic piece inside. And what you do is you squeeze these together and pop it off. Same with this old design, but it was a little harder to get up and under it to squeeze it off. You can tell the headrest is a lot bigger in this chair. They added some coverage on the slide mechanism. Not sure why, maybe somebody got pinched or something by leaning back in this, but that's good. And it is a lot smoother. The pockets have changed. They have a little bungee inside to keep things in, and on each side there's a little flap that folds down flat, and you can set a drink in there and it kind of holds it. But those work pretty good. There's a little bit of grip right here on this one. We don't have it here on this one. We never really needed it, but kind of nice. But the overall differences between these two are going to be the size. I mean, you can physically see the new chair on the right is a lot wider than the original chair on the left, especially with those arm supports coming up. And that makes that chair a heck of a lot more comfortable. Although the old one was pretty comfortable too, this makes it feel like you're not as cramped in the arms when sitting in this thing. Okay, now to show everybody the proper way to sit in these things. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but not much. It's not like a hammock, totally. So what I like to do is I come right up to the chair, and I just hold it right here, and I back into it to almost this bar down here. And I just sit straight down, and you're good to go. Now the way that slide mechanism works here is you just lean back, and now you got a fully reclining camp chair. But as you can see, the original is a little more cramped for elbow space if you're on the armrest. But what I've always done is I just put my arms up here and just chill out. Maybe put my feet up on something and relax. Stare up at the stars, of course. And it is extremely comfortable, even though it may not look like it. Sit forward, the seat back comes back up, and I make sure my legs are tucked in here, and I hold maybe the bottom of this chair, make sure it swings back, or you can hold onto the bars and you get up. Not a big deal. When it comes to the new version, I do the same thing. I back all the way up into it, and I just hold the chair so it doesn't go anywhere, and I sit right straight down. And same thing, you lean back, it reclines back. And you can put your arms up here like I used to do in the original. But the nice thing is, with this wider frame, you can put your arms and elbows right down in here and you have plenty of room to relax. So this new version is a whole lot better when it comes to comfort. It seems like the quality of this is just as good as that original. There are a few changes. So I'll keep that in mind and keep checking on them as time goes on. But in 6 weeks of testing this chair and using it about every weekend, I've really liked it just as much as that original, if not better. This one feels a little more stable. Of course, you want to make sure you're on a level ground. I've had it on uneven ground, and you can kind of do it, but you just got to watch sitting back so you don't flip over if it's sitting on an angle. But to get out of this chair, it's very similar. You just lean forward, make sure your legs are straight. Once again, you can hold on to the frame if that helps, and you just sit straight up and forward. Easy as that. Those you got to keep an eye on and make sure they don't pop off after a while. These might be held on differently, I'm not sure, but I'll keep an eye on them. But that just kind of helps to not sink into the dirt and sand. This chair has a newer, pretty neat pattern to it, where the original just had the name brand back here. Now, although this looks good, my only worry and concern later on is this powder coat is going to scratch. So I would prefer the raw polished aluminum to this as far as looks go over time, but it looks good right now. I just noticed we got some wild burrow poo out here. Got to keep a sharp eye. I have noticed my main audience here on the tube is of a little older age group, so as far as this chair goes, I mean, it could be an issue for mobility reasons. As long as you're able to tuck your legs in here and stand straight up, I think you'll be just fine. can see the legs kind of sunk down into the sand, but they didn't go too far. But that does lower the seat height on that just a little bit when you get in and out of it. Now these are a pretty pricey chair, and like I said, people thought I was absolutely nuts for spending about 250 bucks. I did buy both of these chairs with my own money, and that's the only reason I'm giving these a review, is because I really do think they are an excellent product. I have a backpacking tent and a sleeping bag made by Nemo also, and they are absolutely excellent quality made products. Well worth the money. And when I needed a part for my tent, mainly a bungee cord, it was almost no question asked when I needed to replace that part, because I think I did order it through them, or I had a receipt through one of the companies I bought it through still. No big deal, no charge. They sent me the bungee cording I needed, and like many of these really good companies out there, they actually have a real live person answering the phone, and that's highly appreciated. I really like being able to talk to a real live person and discuss my issues and get things straight, make sure I get the right part. But as always, if you're considering buying one of these products and you have the opportunity to go to a store, an outdoor store that has these in stock and will let you set them up and try them out, I would do that first before spending the money to make sure it's something you're comfortable with and something that you like. But I'll tell you what, if you like to lounge around and you don't want to bring a hammock, or you don't want to bring one of those heavy, clunky reclining chairs, which are pretty comfortable. I think they're called 0G chairs, but they're heavy and they take up a lot of space. This is an absolute excellent option for that. And I'll tell you what, it is comfortable. And it also doubles as a rocking chair. Well, I hope that's helpful to those thinking about buying one of these Nemo Stargazer chairs, or maybe to clarify to some of what the heck kind of chair that is, because I get a ton of questions about it all the time. Well, I figured it'd be a good idea to do a review on that while I was out here hanging out, checking out the desert. I haven't been out here in a little while. It's just cool enough to come out and enjoy it a little bit, especially having the shade from this giant dirt wall up here. Well, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my afternoon out here, relaxing, waiting for the sunset, and then I'll head on home. Sometime next week, I'll be doing another camp video with the Tab trailer. I'll be up north at least one more time, I think. And then I may start trying to push it out to the desert country soon. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.